All right, I'm starting something brand new, which is talking off the cuff. I'm not gonna write anymore. I was writing a newsletter every single week that I started doing because of the 2-hour writer course from Danko, where he had a weekly newsletter as the base, the core content piece, where all the long form videos for YouTube, short form videos for Instagram, TikTok, tweets, threads that all stem from that initial newsletter. And so I wanted to follow obviously the course and do it myself to truly give it a shot and learn how to write. It was a course about writing. And yeah, I just kept doing it for, this is the 75th episode. And it quickly turned into just documenting what I did in the week, which the course kind of, the way that Danko writes obviously has a system based on the things you learn weekly, the things you do, going on walks, thinking about your past self, your present self, and your future self, you being the niche itself. And that's a brief summary of how the course is. It's pretty good. It's not too long. It's mainly text based and it has a few videos in it, and it was good. I agree with everything he said. It's not crazy information that you cannot find in social media or even in his videos, like many other courses or programs. Information is out there. There's no such thing as paid information that you cannot find elsewhere. You just have to find it, and it's consumes time and effort. But yeah, I was doing that newsletter, which I wasn't truly doing, because what he meant was something far greater that I wasn't truly doing, because I was still a mix of afraid, a mix of doing multiple things at once. I'm still like a freelancer. All my money came from one that I shared here on my weekly videos. That stemmed from one big client that I have for freelancing. It was an agency for that makes videos for universities, and I recently got cut. Basically, I cannot say fired because it wasn't a job for me. But it acted like a job from my point of view, and recently they stopped giving me. They quiet fire me. Instead of quiet quitting, it was a quiet fire, and they stopped giving me work. And since I work for hourly, I didn't have a salary. Obviously, I made less money, but I was trying to. I didn't want to work there long term, because it's not even an industry I believe in. Higher education. I dropped out of college a while ago, and there was a big disconnect there. I was working for an agency that makes videos for universities, and I was a college dropout. That's a big disconnect. I should have left earlier, but the money was good, and I grew a lot. I'm happy that I don't regret that I didn't leave. Well, I kind of leave as well. It was like a mutual quiet firing and quiet quitting. I was building this agency or trying to work with fitness coaches on the side. That's the main goal right now. And I'll start creating content. Actually, I'll sum it up the thing that I was doing. I was doing that newsletter to learn how to write, because I know writing is important. I want to be I want to write good scripts for everything, be it content, a story, general stories, newsletters. Being able to express myself in a persuasive way is what I want to do. And that's why I did the course. That's why I gave it a shot. And I just kept doing it because I wanted to ultimately end up being just a documentation of my life, my week to week, that I was doing in English and also in Spanish. But in Spanish, I was talking off the cuff like I'm doing right now. And in English, I was using the newsletter as reading it as a script. And I like the idea of having that documentation because in the future, when I succeed at everything I want to succeed, I have a backlog of content that I can point towards to show how the road really is. Because often I see a lot of advice on the internet that it has a big survivorship bias, that they tell you to do one thing when in reality that's what they are doing right now as a successful person. Instead, when they were coming up, they did a completely different thing. Alex Hormozi talks a lot about that. And I not only want to be aware of that, but also have proof of that. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I changed this newsletter thing because I wasn't truly learning how to write. So the purpose there was flawed. And now what I want to do is still document in English and also in Spanish. It's could be a waste of time, but it won't, because the reason I want to still do it in English is because I'm going to practice my vocabulary, my fluency in English. I want to be much better, because one thing that really struck with me was that my brother told me that I should create content in Spanish because that's my native language, and that my true personality cannot be shown in English, which I believe it can, because it's not like I'm acting in any non-authentic way when I'm talking in English. But obviously I don't have the fluency that I have in Spanish. And I actually saw a few videos. I remember, just one video that shows that when you speak in different languages, you can adapt a different personality. And it was very well explained, and I kind of resonated. And I always thought that in English I feel like more business oriented, and in Spanish I feel a little bit more like I tend to talk with more emphasis, like an extrovert, even though I'm kind of an introvert. I don't like too much not tagging. See, this is what I'm trying to do. What I plan on doing, if I have the time, that I know I can make the time. We all have time. We just prioritize different things. But I could prioritize watching this video back and see when I got stuck in a specific word or in a specific expression or phrase or whatever that I could have done better. Like right now I have a few pauses that I think I wouldn't have in Spanish. And the reason why that happens is that it's not like I'm saying things in Spanish and then I translate it alarm is going off. I don't plan on editing these videos. Maybe I'll rename the channel Seb Nikolic Unfiltered, something like that. That's how I have it in Spanish. And the idea is to not cut anything at all. And where was I? Oh yeah, that I could rewatch the videos, see where I got stuck, write it down. Like, okay, I got stuck saying this expression. I got stuck because it's hard to pronounce the R's, the S's and T's. Those combinations are quite hard. And that's the goal right now. And it's going to be cool to see the difference between... I just filmed the video in Spanish, the unfiltered way. I don't say the same things because, again, it puts me in a different mindset. So I end up not saying the same thing, even though I want to talk about the week that just went by. So I know that's gonna be a little bit like weird to do. Like I said, it might sound like a waste of time. But again, I just have to, I just want to have this documented, and in the very least, it's gonna help me to have a better vocabulary, pronounce things better. I might actually even hire someone that that helps people that want to learn a second language to learn English, have a better accent and a better fluency, to put some things in practice. But like I said, I know I can watch a few. I'm self-taught on everything, so I'm probably gonna end up watching a few videos about being fluent in English when it's your second language, and just practice what I find. So yeah, that's gonna be the videos moving forward. It's gonna be about 10 minutes. I know we are at 11 minutes. And I'll basically talk again about my week, what happened. Like I said, I lost my main job, the main source of income. Right now, I'm renting a very big apartment. I'm losing money. I have savings that I have a 1 year more in my lease. And so I have a lot of pressure on me, but I wanted this pressure when I first got into this apartment. That was It was below my means, but barely. Now it's not below my means at all. I'm spending more money than I earn every single month. But since I had savings, preparing for this possible case that I know it was possible, I can reach the end of the lease somewhat comfortably. That's a word, for example, that's hard. But right now, I stopped doing, I don't think I mentioned this in the video, I stopped doing cold outreach because it goes against Instagram policies of anti-spam policies. And even though I was doing one video a day, a personalized video for each coach, which I think it was very proactive. This is where I get stuck, that I think in Spanish I wouldn't get stuck. Even though the videos that I was making, I made like 7 in total, they were kind of, that's the word, well-founded. It had good intentions. It was still unsolicited videos, so therefore technically it's spam. And even if it's just one a day and not like 100 DMs, cold DMs like I wanted to do, it's still spam. And the account that I was posting the videos in was the one that I used to send a bunch of cold DMs. And Instagram has that account flagged in a lot of ways. It thinks that I'm a bot, so I'm swimming against the current. And I'm gonna leave that account. I'm gonna use my personal one, which was in Spanish, the one that every person uses, not for business, but I'm gonna turn that into my business account and just do that. I'm gonna create videos in English, and that's when my brother told me that it's not that I'm swimming against the current by not having a good accent, a good fluency, that I won't be able to portray myself as I truly am. But what got me to the very successful life was working for the English market, because it pays better. That's why I want to stick to it. I don't want to create content in Spanish because I basically want to play in the big leagues. Like any other sport, if you want to be the best at football, soccer for English people, the best place to end up is in England, playing for the Premier League. Basketball is in the United States, and in business is also the United States. If I want to play at the highest level in business, I want to do it in English. Am I swimming against the current? Yes. Can I still be better than most? Yes. So that's the goal. I think that most of the relevancy in social media does not come down to the accent or fluency. It comes down to saying good stuff. So if I just focus on being the best at content creation and helping fitness coaches, no matter what accent I have, that maybe I cannot be so extroverted, but I think I'm portraying myself in a good way. It's not as perfect as Spanish, but it's good enough, in my opinion, to not have a big detriment to what I actually know and what it's going to be useful for people that will want to follow me, fitness coaches will want to hire me, and so on. So that's the plan. And if it's a true detriment to my results, that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to have more fluency. I'm going to work on it. And yeah, I'm going to be better and be more expressful. I'm going to express myself with more fluency. So yeah, there's moments like that where I get stuck and I pause. That in Spanish, even in Spanish, I get stuck as well, but just thinking what I want to say, but not in that way. So I know I have a lot of space to get better at. It's something that my competition that already has English as their native tongue don't have to do. So that's the swimming against the current. But at the same time, they might not have the drive that I have because of it. So everything evens out when you just bust your ass and work as smart as you can. So that's what I'm trying to do. And just to close this up, to make some money, I'm going to help a friend that I helped build a successful fitness coaching. He does calisthenics. So calisthenics, I helped a friend that was going to be homeless turn his life around with content. I didn't make the videos for him, but I coached him throughout the entire journey of creating content. He blew up. He was able to make more money. He was able to open his own calisthenics gym that where I'm from that doesn't exist. Now it exists thanks to him. And I'm sure there's going to be there's one calisthenics gym, very small ones going around, but the gym that he opened is very big. He actually, here's what I'm getting stuck with. There's definitely parts of the language that I get stuck in. So yeah, I need to get better. But the gym that he opened first, he outgrown that and he already moved to an even bigger gym. So what he's doing is unprecedented here, at least in my city, pretty much in the entire of Argentina. And he still is not doing content creation as well as I know he can. So I'm going to help him. I want to help him make a shit ton of money that I know he can, and create even better content and more content and even blow everything up even more. So it's going to be extremely excited. He's the most, he's an incredible person, and it's lovely I have a lovely relationship with him. So it all just works. And I'm getting stuck with words and thinking. So yeah, I'm going to be much better talking, much better thinking in English. I'm gonna be much snappier, more. So yeah, it's gonna be a work in progress, and I'll get better. And this is gonna work. And I'm already succeeding because I'm doing what I love. I'm pushing myself as hard as I can, and that's what I want. So thank you for watching the entire video, and I'll see you next week.